Welcome everybody to the December meeting. And our next meeting date is January 22nd. Our future committee meetings will be pension. Hopefully the market will stay where it is and we'll have a very nice report. Audit and finance and any others as needed.
We will need a pension.
Yep, mention that.
Okay.
Yep. Motion to approve the minutes of November 20th. Robert, second.
Darlene?
Thank you, Darlene. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Schultz, talk to us about your report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As I put in my report, continue to update you on the COVID situation. We have drawn down, as of the end of November, 21,130,000 of our CARES Act. We expect to have that fully expended by the end of this fiscal year. We've needed it to cover expenditures due to a reduction in STOA, reduction in passenger line revenue. As of the writing of this report, I noted that we had 39 employees company-wide out for various reasons, either testing positive for COVID-19 or quarantining because they've been in contact or they have underlying health conditions. Sadly to say, that number's risen from 39 to 44 as of yesterday. It seems like we get a couple employees back and then 2 or 3 more go out, either because they've tested positive or they've been in contact with somebody that's tested positive. We are continuing to monitor that for the board's information. Any of the salaried staff that is able to work from home, I've worked with the various department heads and put together a plan to do remote work on a rotating basis. For example, if you got 5 or 6 people in a department, 3 would be here, 3 would be remote. They would alternate the following week. We're doing that, largely because the spike in cases here in Onondaga County, and trying to, minimize the traffic in the building. NIPTA Public Transit Leadership Institute, or PTLI. Friday, December 4th, Christopher Tuff, Jeff Hoff, and Josh Gardner graduated from PTLI. This is a 6-part, year-long series. Went a little bit longer than a year because of the pandemic, and they had to go from in-person classes to remote learning, but they graduated with a presentation. They were broken up into groups. They presented, each person in the group had a part of the presentation. And I gotta tell you, our 3 guys, I know I'm biased, but I think they did the best presentation. They came, they were prepared, they didn't lose their place, there wasn't any stammering, it was just very, very flawless. They did a great job, they did Central proud.
Congratulations to, from the board to the 3 of them.
Thank you.
We got a remodeling project going, and we'll have some before and after pictures for you guys when it's complete. The dispatch office is very crowded and unable to social distance. So what we've done is we've moved some people in offices around so we can knock down some walls, make it a much larger area. New workstations that are distance, farther apart from each other. So that's really going to help. That project began. We've relocated dispatch temporarily. We will begin hopefully next week. We get some staff back again. Part of the pandemic problem is that we've lost some of our buildings and grounds guys. We're going to do most of this work in-house, pretty much everything except for the electrical work. But some of the buildings and grounds guys are out quarantining, so that it's putting a bit of a strain. Then you dump a foot of snow, and it further strains the staff. So hopefully next week we'll be able to start doing the demolition there and getting some plans drawn up. Other than that, I don't have too much more unless
Right.
anyone has questions.
A little bit about the storm yesterday. How did we do?
We did great. So we got all our service out. Our lots were cleared. Buildings and Grounds did a great job. When I arrived, I don't know, 6:30 or so that morning, the sidewalks were bare. I mean bare.
Right.
Parking lots had been plowed, and we got through the day well, so, yeah, it went well.
That's good. That was a little bit more snow than I think where they were forecasting in the beginning.
Yeah, they were out, I was down in the garage, the day before, and they were down there hooking up all the plows and, getting all the pickup trucks
Good.
ready and our big payloader, and they did a good job.
Is the upstate group of transit authorities still pretty much united in your advocacy and your plan and everything?
Very much so. We had a meeting last week, and then we did a lot of it by email. We've sent letters, each CEO of each property has sent a letter to their congressional representatives. So our letter went to Catco and Brindisi, advocating that they include up to $32 billion in the next CARES Act, or the next stimulus package. The bill that's before Congress right now is being negotiated, unfortunately only has, we were told about a month ago that it was gonna have $32 billion. We just found out it's got about $15 billion for transit.
And from our delegation, who sits on that committee? Do we have any of our folks upstate here that sit on the committee of transportation?
No, it's the bill is being negotiated by the House and Senate majority minority leaders.
Oh, okay.
So they're going back and forth, but we're sending letters out to our congressional reps, asking them to make sure that money is included for transit.
Good. Excellent. Just, we see any more, is ridership kind of leveled off a little bit?
Still down. When you take in everything, it's down, a little better than 50%, which is why we're seeing the hit on our passenger line revenue as well.
Yeah.
It just hasn't rebounded. I think we've lost, there's still a lot of people that aren't back to work, that may have typically taken transit, and I think a lot of the choice riders, people that roll the bus out of choice and that necessity, I think have left the transit world.
Okay.
For now, until their comfort level gets back a little bit. I don't think we'll see them return.
But I think some of these essential individuals, hospitals and nursing homes, et cetera, that rely on it, I'm glad that we're in place for them.
Yeah, and it's not just us. I was on a call with APTA, had about 110 different property CEOs on the call, and that's the general sentiment. Ridership is down anywhere from 20 in a best case scenario to 70 or 80 in a worst case.
Okay, good. Anybody have any questions for Brian? No? Okay, good report, very good. Okay, we're gonna go into our Audit and Finance Committee report. This was all discussed in detail in committee. Linda gave a very good presentation on our financial position. At this point, we're about 3.6 in the black, the positive. It's important that we manage this very well this year, because those funds are what we're gonna need in ongoing future years to help us mitigate some challenges that we will have. So a motion was made to be brought to the full board for the November 30th financial reports. I would need a motion to move this. Robert, second?
So moved.
Was it Joe? Okay, second.
Second, Darlene.
Okay. Whoever you like.
Second, Darlene.
Thanks, Don. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
We also went into the revised proposed budget. Budgets are fluid sometimes. In this state, they're very fluid. There's gates that are opening, water's running, and we have to change the way we allocate our funds based on the position that we're in at the time. Ridership's down, CARES Act money is here, so I think Linda and her team are doing a good job maximizing how monies are allocated to the best of their ability. A motion was made for the revisions for the proposed budget. At this point, I need a motion for the full board. Robert, second.
second, Darlene.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Okay, also, this is something that's kind of called housekeeping, the approval of the line of credit. It's a tax exempt rate that we're getting, which is important to state. And at times we need to go into our line based on cash flow is when we go in and then we pay it back, something that we've done for years. So, and that is with M&T. Motion was made to bring it to the full board for adoption. At this point, we need a motion. Robert, second.
Darlene.
Any questions? All in favor? Aye. We also talked, Jackie gave a presentation on the stop loss insurance. And with the stop loss insurance, this year we're going to award contract. As we are self-insured, we needed the stop loss to Sun Life. I think through her work, it seems to be a difference of about $87,000, which is good. Less from the other bids. And at this point, I need a motion to approve Sun Life for the stop loss insurance renewal. Robert, second.
Darlene.
Okay. Any questions? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Moving on, Jackie also did a presentation on our UMR medical premium rates. The board was given the documents with the numbers to make a good decision. And at this point, based on the document that we have, we are approving the UMR medical premium rates. I need a motion. Robert?
Second, Darlene.
Okay. And that's for Central. Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Central of Oneida medical premium rates. These rates have increased 13%. The prior item we discussed was only 2%. Most likely this has to do with a smaller pool to spread the risk out. And we were given the information, and we are approving the Central of Oneida premium rates. Motion was made to bring it to the full board. I need a motion. Robert, second.
Darlene.
Any questions? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to resolutions. Caitlin brought 3 resolutions forward. Resolution 1 was the Armored Car Services. Hit 2 bidders, and we are awarding to the low bid, Loomis Armored. Motion was made to bring it to the full board for adoption. Motion for the resolution. Robert, second.
Darlene.
Okay. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Resolution 2. Purchase of integrated mobile ticketing and electronic validation systems. So noted was this is going to be probably more of a user-friendly, more efficient, as Brian stated, system. EJ jumped on this a little bit to talk about this is a grant fund totaling a little bit over $730,000 with GenFair. Sole source, if I remember correctly. Okay. Motion was made to bring it to the full board for approval. I need a motion. Robert, second.
Darlene.
Any questions? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Caitlin also brought through Resolution 3, Specialized Transportation Minivan Services. We were presented with the bids. We are going to award contract to Suburban Taxi for a 5-year term. Motion was made to bring it to the full board for approval. I need a motion on this. Robert?
Motion.
Oh, motion, Tina. Second?
Darlene.
Darlene. Okay. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. And then Linda also led a discussion about our insurance reserves. Brian jumped in a little bit to talk about increasing our reserves to where, to a level we used to be. This is only for thought right now. This will be coming back to us at a future meeting. And also creating a medical reserve to help defer future costs based on, we believe, with the pandemic, of deferred maybe procedures that were never done this year because of this, that were not life-threatening. So we're trying to just put ourselves in a decent, strong financial position for future challenges. That was only for a discussion, so I'm sure that'll be coming back for an action. So we have to establish that reserve. With that being said, there's nothing left on the Audit and Finance Committee agenda. We are now going to turn this over to a patient person, Joe DeGray.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning. A couple items on the ops report this month. Our Syracuse Transit Hub, when we built the hub back in 2012, we included heated sidewalks as part of the project for any sidewalk that was not covered by the canopy to help with snow removal and safety of our customers. So a while ago, there was a water main break down there. That created some havoc for us in how that system operated. Fortunately, that's been corrected and fixed through CNS engineers, and worked very well yesterday. So we know it's working, and we're able to maintain a nice clean sidewalk for our customers and our employees. So that went well. Item 2, we are in the process of purchasing some new paratransit vehicles that are actually in production as we speak. Should have them probably late February, somewhere in there, on the property, and then in full service early spring at the latest. These buses also are coming with a 7-year, 125,000-mile warranty, which helps protect the asset, which is good for us and a nice cost savings in the long run as we own these vehicles. Last item is our system safety plan. For many years, the state has required all properties within the state to submit a system safety plan. Within the last 2 years, the FTA, Federal Transportation Administration, has requested that a plan is created for them, nationally, for all transit authorities and properties. So at this point, I'm going to introduce Brian Green. Brian is our Senior Director of Operations, who, along with Tim Sinclair, headed up this project, and I'll have Brian give you a little overview of what it took. And by the way, that book's on the table there for those of you in the room. A lot of trees were killed to make that.
Well over 600.
And fortunately, Brian, like I said, Brian and Tim did a great job with this. So Brian, go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Back in February, Tim and I were tasked with the creation of Centro's Public Transit Agency Safety Plan, also known as the PTASP. Like Joe just stated, it was an FTA mandate that was first published back in July of 2018, requiring all public transit agencies that receive federal funding grants to develop and implement a system safety plan. So in order to better understand this plan and what it was going to take to implement one, Tim and I traveled down to Philadelphia in March to go through a conference and workshop. During that conference, we learned about the PTASP having to include safety performance targets, safety management policies, risk management, safety assurance, and safety promotion. In accordance with the PTSB system safety plan, some of these had already been previously created and just need to be updated to include it in the PTASP document. And also to ensure that we weren't duplicating our efforts, Tim and I took the existing New York State PTSB system safety plan, combined it with the federal safety plan to have one composite safety document, which Joe stated is on the table in front of you. It took a couple of reams of paper to finally get that thing printed out for you all. But pending any questions of me, I'll turn it back over to Joe.
Yeah, no, I mean, it seems like, wow, what a document that you put together, and the work that had to go into that has to be unbelievable. And the way we talk about acronyms and letters of, we have our own language in transit. So, you know, we don't even need words anymore. We just put letters together and we all understand what the hell's going on. And if we don't, we fake it. But otherwise, Joe and Brian, Tim, wow. That's all I can say is wow. The board really appreciates, that's a lot of work. And is that something that has to be reviewed annually, where you update it?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Review.
Yeah, it'll be an annual review. At this point, what I would request of you, Mr. Chairman, is I need a motion to approve this plan so we can do a final submittal to the FDA.
Okay, thank you, Joe. We need a motion to approve the system safety plan that has been presented to us and is on this board table. We need a little bit more reinforcement. The table's actually bending in the middle where it is. So I need a motion. Robert, second. Second.
Tina.
Thank you, Tina. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Very good. Very good report. Very impressive.
Thank you. All set, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Okay. Old business there, Brian. We have any old business?
We do not.
Okay, so I'd like to, many years ago was always happier time sometimes this December meeting. But I think on behalf of the board and Brian, I want to wish everybody a great holiday season coming up, a great New Year's, a safe time, I think a time to reflect, and also a time to have some hope that things will be better. And we all appreciate the work that everybody does in this authority, especially this year. You've been put to the test. I think you did a great job getting through it. And the impact, sometimes you don't know it. It's on somebody that might use this service in a way that we never thought, that has made their life a lot easier in a way to maintain their lifestyle because of public transportation. Once again, on behalf of Brian and the board, have a great, safe holiday, and we're looking forward to seeing you in January. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays, everybody. Maybe we'll be in person.